Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Learning from the Greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu, Nosebo Chavero, to go ahead and feel the identification, identify with another Jew and feel the connection to him. How do we do that? We see that Moshe had it in case after case in his early adulthood, going to save the Jews from the Egyptians, saving the Jews from each other, saving the daughters of Yitro. He had it. But we mentioned that he didn't just have it from birth, he worked on it. Vayar, he looked, he analyzed. And of course, that's the goal of all of us, that we should feel the pain of another person, another individual who's in a crisis, who's having a tough time, who's having issues. And that's the mission for Gava. No say, Ba'ol Chavero, we feel it. But how do we achieve that? Certain times we naturally feel a person is in crisis, someone who's close, beloved to us. So we now think about him or her all day long. It's natural. But what about when it's not natural? How do we go ahead and bring about that feeling, that connection to another individual? So I think there's something that's what I would call a virtuous cycle. We have a negative term called a vicious cycle. I think there's a virtuous cycle as well. And over here, in this case, that's what we need. For example, we know someone, not our relative, not a best friend, who's not well, who's sick, diagnosed with cancer. So it's sad. So we can hear the news and say, oh, that's sad, and move on like nothing happened, continue with our learning, with our working, with whatever we may be doing. And then we can make a statement, yeah, I guess I should go visit, I should go call. And also we just move on. But there is a way to go ahead and truly feel that person's pain. How is it? We go ahead and instead of just moving on, we go ahead and we make the call. We visit the person. And when we visit the person, and we see the person, what he's going through, his wife trying to help him out, and they're going to the hospital back and forth for chemo, and we're hearing what's going on in their lives, that act should bring about certain positive feelings of connection, identification with the people going through the pain. And then, in turn, those feelings will lead to more actions. You're going to go ahead and call in a day or two or three. You'll visit in a day or two or three, or maybe the next day, depending on what's appropriate. And then that act is going to bring about more feelings. And then you're naturally going to get into the other person's world. This could be a situation like we just discussed. Person in the hospital, person who's sick, person not well, person going through whatever he or she may be going through, and we don't naturally have that connection, that feeling towards the person for whatever reason. We don't have such a close connection in general, or that specific issue doesn't register by us as being such a tragedy. But for that person, he's in trouble. So we go ahead, instead of just passing by, we go ahead and make the call. We make that visit. And that, in Yitz Hashem, should then bring about that, what I call a virtuous cycle of Nosei Ba'ol Chavero, where that will lead to more feelings, that will lead to the connections, and the connections and feelings will lead to more actions, and then we'll get into a deeper and deeper and a real and genuine relationship of Nosei Ba'ol Chavero. Something I think we have to work on. We don't just naturally have, but the more we work on it, the higher level that we can achieve. Shalom.